So, Roman fucking Reigns somehow is back in the main event picture. He just lost flat on his back just a little over a week ago at Extreme Rules pay-per-view, flat on his back in an exhibition match against Bobby Lashley. And somehow, we're just 2 weeks later, if that, not even, and we're already talking about him not only being number one contender, but he is in that main event spot most likely with Brock fucking Lesnar. You have got to be a 7-year-old, no more than that, if you honestly are okay with what you are watching. If you are on board with WWE week to week, and when WWE goes off the air, you're okay with it, and you're like, I was entertained. You gotta be a fucking 7-year-old kid, because they certainly are not favoring their fan base that is in the majority, which is 18 to 35. That is their demographic, their biggest demographic for WWE and pro wrestling in general. Your demographic is 18 to 35. It's not kids. It's not people that are 80 years old and above. No, your main demographic is 18 years old to 35. That is a proven statistic. Even here on this channel, I can tell you, with the thousands of subscribers that I have and the thousands of people that tune into these videos, the demographic always shows 18 to 35 is your majority. But their booking clearly caters to anyone 7 years old or under, or anyone with the lowest IQs, and even worse than the lowest IQs. They'll take it. WWE wants them, because those are the ones that are going to forget what the hell they just watched the week before. Every week, WWE can just give them whatever the fuck they want. Every week can be the same thing they just viewed the week before, because half of WWE RAW is always the same shit we saw the week before, and in most cases, the same shit we've seen numerous weeks before. WWE just regurgitates the same shit every single week, and they hope, because they have 3 hours and they just throw all these fucking superstars at us in 3 hours, and all of this fucking crazy bullshit, they hope that we forget what we just witnessed. Again, most of us, 18 to 35, actually have a fucking brain with actual brain cells circulating and fucking moving and articulating what the fuck we're actually viewing and watching, understanding and comprehending what we are taking in. We are not buying into that bullshit. We see through that bullshit. We are sick and tired of that bullshit. The booking and the creativity in WWE is non-existent. Oh, we're going to get to Roman Reigns a little bit later in this video. I promise you we are going to hit harder than we've ever fucking hit on this channel. Ever. In this channel's existence. Because enough is enough. But I want to start off with the history-making bombshell announcement. Now, I know some people are not on board with this announcement. Other people love this announcement. Whether you love it or hate it, whether you like it or dislike it, the bottom line is it was a history-making announcement. Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Vince McMahon all in the ring together to start off Monday Night Raw. And they all call forward the women. All the rosters up on the staging area, all of Monday Night Raw, and they even flew in all of the SmackDown women's talent. And they asked all the women to come out, take a step above the men, in front of the men. And that's when Stephanie, first of all, Triple H gave a hoorah speech with a tear in our eye. You consistently steal the show, and XYZ, make it a heartfelt statement, sentiment. And then all of a sudden, Stephanie McMahon drops the bombshell that there is indeed going to be the first ever women's pay-per-view on October 28th, I believe it is. And that's what we've known for the last week especially. That's been a rumor for a couple of months. I broke it to you guys Wednesday or Thursday that this was an announcement that was imminent. And it was imminent because it was literally 4 days after I broke the story. So again, it's it's a different flavor for different people. I understand that. Some people like cruiserweights, some don't. Some people like women's wrestling, some don't. Some people like tag team wrestling, some don't. Some people like New Japan more than WWE. Some people like NXT more than New Japan. Some people like ROH more than everything else. Some people are just WWE guys. Listen, I understand. The bottom line is this. For anybody out there that doesn't like this all-women's pay-per-view idea because they think creative is not going to be creative. BC, this is never going to work because they don't even know what to do with the women now. An all-women's pay-per-view would be a disaster, BC. Would it? Would it? Because I just saw Extreme Rules. That was one of the most epic disasters in pay-per-view history. And that had a shitload more men than it did women. So you're telling me the women are going to be booked incorrectly, BC. That's why they don't deserve an all-women's pay-per-view. But the men, they book the men even more poorly than the women. Yeah, they do. There's more men on that fucking roster of Raw. There's more men on the roster of SmackDown. And consistently every week, every single one of them are being misused. So statistically, the men are far outweighed in poor booking than the women. So judging by your standards, every single month should be an all-women's pay-per-view. Yeah, put your foot in your mouth there, man. Your whole basis for not having a women's pay-per-view is because they won't be booked properly. It'll be a train wreck. But if you think about it, consistently the women are putting on the best fucking shows, the best matches, the best memorable moments of the fucking events. Royal Rumble was stolen by the all-women's Royal Rumble fucking match. That Royal Rumble match for the women stole that show. At WrestleMania, Ronda fucking Rousey stole WrestleMania in her mixed tag match with Stephanie McMahon opposing her. And Angle and fucking Triple H in that match. Ronda Rousey stole that motherfucker. Last week on Monday Night Raw, I said that Ronda Rousey's segment with Alexa Bliss saved Monday Night Raw because it was a shit show. Consistently, on events that are total trash, garbage, and a tragedy, a travesty of the most epic fucking proportions, the women are some of the biggest fucking highlights. Watching Sasha Banks in that ring, like the fucking chemist that she is, like the fucking chef that she is, with her skills, her maneuvers, her fucking facial expressions, her mannerisms, everything she does in that ring is pure gold. Ember Moon, getting to watch her in that ring, getting to watch Ronda Rousey be the legit badass we knew she was gonna be. Somebody like fucking Kairi Sane that's gonna be coming up to that pay-per-view. Trish Stratus, Lita, women like that are gonna come back for another match. And you don't want to see that. That's gonna be trash. But Extreme Rules, you'll see that shit. Put some of the men in there. Make it extra fucking trashy. I call bullshit on anybody that doesn't like this idea because of the booking and they think the women are gonna create a fucking shit show. Because I promise you, every event that I see from WWE ends up being a shit show. So you're not gonna tell me this is gonna be fucking worse than that. I doubt that very much because so far the women have shown me that when they get together with creative, when they get together and they actually have time and they go over shit and they think about the risks and the chances and the story that's gonna be told, that shit ends up being pretty fucking cool actually. That shit becomes epic. They gave that Ronda Rousey WrestleMania match a lot of time, a lot of rehearsal, a lot of thought, and it ended up being fucking gold. The best part of WrestleMania. They ended up giving that Royal Rumble match for the women a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of rehearsal, and it ended up being fucking gold. This event is going to have a lot of time, a lot of rehearsal, a lot of thought, and it's going to be fucking gold. I'm calling it right now. I'm not telling you have to be on board with it. If you don't like an all-women's pay-per-view, literally, this is the one time I will say don't watch, right? Because we all hate that, right? Oh, you don't like the product, BC? Stop watching it, right? But in this instance, we have a pay-per-view every single month at least, right? Every month. So if you really are against all-women's pay-per-view, it's just one pay-per-view out of 12. Literally, just don't watch that one pay-per-view if you're that much against it. Literally. It's a women's pay-per-view. If you don't like the women's division, if you don't think there should be a pay-per-view, just go out with the fucking boys or the gals that night. Have a few drinks, some fucking cocktails, go watch a movie, come back, check the results. Watch the Amplified Man the next day with the review and reaction show. I'm gonna be front and center in front of my fucking TV, man. Actually, it's in what is it? Is it over in Long Island or Nassau Coliseum? One of those shits, right? I might be there fucking front row. Who knows? If not, I'll be in my fucking, maybe I'll throw a fucking, me and the boys will throw a little fucking all-women's pay-per-view party, right? Who the fuck knows where I'm gonna be? But I'm gonna have fucking popcorn, some fucking beers, some coffee, some Twizzlers, a fucking big pan pizza, fucking big tub of Friendly's ice cream. We're gonna fucking rock out, man. I'm gonna love that shit. Again, I'm not telling you have to. If you really don't like it, that's fine. But I call bullshit on a lot of the reasoning. It's gonna be a shit show and the booking's gonna be poor. Well, you just described all of WWE, including the men. 9 out of 10 pay-per-views are gonna be absolute tragedy in booking, in creativity, and the actual events themselves. And that's including majority men on those shows. So I call bullshit, and that's fucking contradicting your own claim that all-women's pay-per-view is going to be trash, and that's why you think it's a bad idea. Well, if that's the case, I think every pay-per-view on WWE is a bad idea, including all the ones with majority men, because they end up sucking every time. BC, this will be even worse than Extreme. Yeah, I doubt it very much. Nothing will ever be worse than that Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I just had to suffer through. This all-women's pay-per-view, man, to see Trish Stratus back, to see fucking Lita back, some of the old fucking veterans, to see matchups that we can't wait to, who knows, man, maybe we get the fucking tag team straps on the fucking line. We'll crown new tag team champions, but on that same show, you're going to see a high-profile Ronda Rousey match. You're going to see Kairi Sane versus who? Ember fucking Moon, maybe? That'd be cool. Naomi versus Ember Moon. Maybe they're going to mix it up. Who knows? You're going to see some fantastic shit. Do we see Lita and Trish one more fucking time? One last hoorah in the ring together? Or do you see something like Sasha Banks versus Trish Stratus, which I've wanted from day number one? Or do you see Ember Moon versus Trish Stratus? Lita versus fucking Kairi Sane? Lita versus Naomi? Who the fuck knows? I'm pumped. A lot more than a fucking Extreme Rules, Extreme Lovable fucking Rules pay-per-view ever got me more pumped. So I'm proud of these ladies. They busted their ass. I think it's an event that's going to be fun. It's one event out of a whole calendar year. And I'm seeing on social media, some people are actually fucking angry. Some people are pissed off. Some people think this is going to be the worst event in the history of fucking events. And obviously they don't watch WWE then in the last 15 years. Every fucking Monday, every fucking pay-per-view they run is the worst event in history. One event out of a whole calendar year. That's part of the network anyway, which if you're a real wrestling fan, WWE fan especially, you should already have the network. One event you're not going to give them. One event you're going to shit on. Every time you shit on these ladies, they end up fucking proving you wrong with that Royal Rumble match, with that Ronda Rousey WrestleMania match. Sasha Banks and Charlotte, Hell in a Cell, they shit on that. That ended up being a fucking kick-ass match. Kick-ass. Every time they go and make history and everyone shits on it, they actually do it in the fucking right way. Yes, there's those Money in the Bank botches, right, where they have James Ellsworth come in, but that's literally just booking, being extra fucking ignorant in that booking. They thought it would be fun. They thought it would be a cool way to put it on Carmella. So yeah, they have their fucking hiccups and bumps, but I think this pay-per-view is going to have the time of day that it deserves. Again, whatever side of the fence you're on, that's your own prerogative. But again, I call bullshit on a lot of the reasoning people are giving. It makes zero fucking sense. We just saw a pay-per-view that was the shittiest pay-per-view of all fucking time. And you're gonna tell me the women are gonna put on a bad show. Alright, let's start with your precious men first, before we start dissing the fucking ladies. When they've never even had a full fucking fledged pay-per-view. And if you don't like women's wrestling and you just don't want to see them, if you think it's going to be full of botches, if you think it's going to be messy, if you think it's going to be a shit show, stop watching for that one night. That one night, don't watch it. But don't fucking rain on everybody else's parade. This is a fucking big moment. Whether you think it is or not, that's a huge fucking moment. When you watch pro wrestling for over 30 fucking years and you remember where it was in those 80s, where it was in the 90s with bra and panty matches and shit, and now you see these women were not even fucking allowed to compete. And where was it? Fucking Dubai? Is that how you fucking say? I forgot where they even were, but they weren't even allowed to compete. The world is still trying to evolve, and we get a fucking all-women's pay-per-view at a time where women are some of the best fucking competitors in WWE right now. Again, Naomi, Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, Kairi Sane gonna be coming up, seeing people like Trish and fucking Lita come back. This is a time where fucking, it's now or never, man. This is the time to bring everybody back. Why the veterans can still come back for that one last hoorah match. Why these females are in their prime. Charlotte fucking Flair. Ronda Rousey. I'm giving you a bunch of names that are going to be on this card. And they're going to try to go full throttle and make sure that this is a badass pay-per-view for all of our entertainment. Let's give them the fucking chance. Let's not be an ignorant fucking asshole on this shit. Again, I'm okay if you don't like it, but don't spread that fucking bullshit. Not on this fucking channel. Nikki Cross, can I just say on that staging area? Nikki fucking Cross. And by the way, guys, tag straps will be being introduced. A lot of people are like, oh, no tag straps. I guess they're not going to do it. They have already been made. Tag team championships should be introduced, or at least a tournament will be called for, or something right after SummerSlam. There is going to be tag championships decided, and I have a big fear about who they're going to fucking put it on. I'll get to that in 1 minute. But can I just say Nikki Cross? What the fuck is Nikki Cross doing? Nikki Cross hasn't even debuted on the roster, and she's the number one. She's literally in the front row of everybody last night. Front row. The casual fan is probably like, who the fuck is that girl, mommy and daddy, in the front row? Who's that? Mommy and daddy probably don't even watch the pride. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's an intern. Maybe it's a PA. Maybe it's a production assistant. Maybe it's Vince McMahon's assistant who gets his coffee. I don't know. Maybe she knows. Maybe she's leading the Women's Evolution pay-per-view. Maybe she's like one of the organizers. We don't know. Maybe she cleans up the ring afterwards, but she's really a part of the family. Nobody knows who Nikki Cross is if you don't watch NXT. She hasn't even debuted. So how do you debut Nikki Cross? Let's put her out there with all of the talent and have her smile at the announcement. Could you not just leave her off? Most likely participants in the Mae Young Classic, that's going to be fucking actually decided there, I believe, at that pay-per-view. So Kairi Sane, all of them are going to be at that event. You could not leave Nikki Cross out of this one announcement. You had to have her reaction. She sat out there looking like a fucking giggly old fucking 10-year-old as it is, biting at the chops to smile and break out in a hoorah with balloons and cupcakes. She looked like she didn't fucking belong there because nobody even knows her character is zany and crazy. Debuting Nikki Cross with everybody on the stage, that's about as good as debuting Sanity in the most nonchalant, nonsensical ways. Oh wait, they did that too, didn't they? The fucking Usos. And then a week later, they're already losing matches. That was Sanity. Looks like they had nothing for Nikki Cross either. Nikki Cross at this point has to show up tonight on SmackDown in front of the camera. No dark match, because she already debuted. But don't blink, because you would have missed it. Oh, where are the tag team championships going to go to for the women? Right? That's the question, because they're a real thing. They've already been made. We suspect and expect that after SummerSlam, it's going to be announced that the tag team championships will be decided at the all-women's pay-per-view. And when Sasha Banks came out there with Bayley last night and they had matching jackets, you knew right there and then they're a real tag team now. This is a real thing. And you know Vince, who had nothing for Sasha for a year and a half anyway, and Bayley fell by the wayside from day number one, you know their consolation prize, their secondary participation trophy for Sasha and Bayley is, hey, we're going to create new titles and we'll give you that championship goal. How about that? Because we're never going to put you back in the heavyweight championship for the women. We're never going to give you the Raw and the SmackDown championships. Oh no, that ship has sailed. We have a new direction with that. So what we'll do is we'll create new championships and we'll give you those. We'll make you tag team championships because we know you guys are best buddies in real life. Woo! Sasha Banks, the best fucking wrestler for the women on this fucking roster, and you're throwing a tag team championship on her. She had one of the best feuds just a few months ago, and then they cooled it down. And then somehow, this never happens in pro wrestling, they were able to rekindle this hot feud between Sasha and Bayley. Somehow, twice, even though they ruined it the first time, they rekindled it. And they squashed it again. They turned something so hot the second time into pure ice. So ice cold. Epic beatdowns back in the locker room area. A beatdown by Bayley over on Sasha outside around the ring. 2 epic beatdowns. All to go to counseling, all to have Sasha confess her love to Bayley, and now they're a fucking tag team taking out 2 jobbers in 3 minutes last night. And now they're all hugging each other and everybody's all fucking smiles. That's the concept. I want to when Sasha Banks wins a championship, I want to be like a proud fucking father who watched over and said, oh, thank fucking goodness we were behind you every step of the way. We were right with you every step of the way. And we did it, not just you. We did it, man. How can you do that when they win the tag straps? Sasha and Bayley are now stuck together in a fucking tag team. If you think that's honestly what's best for Sasha Banks, then you obviously are not a Banks fan or you don't know what Banks can bring to the table. Sasha Banks is leaps and bounds better than a tag team with Bayley, and those are just straight truth bombs and facts. You ain't gonna like it, you're gonna deal with it. Sasha Banks is much better than a tag team with Bayley for the next 6 months or a fucking year. And then maybe after 6 months or a year, when that tag team runs fucking dry and stale, then what? Do they turn on each other again? And maybe in a fucking year we get Bayley versus Sasha? By that point, it's fucking done. It's been done with me for weeks now. Somehow they rekindled it and re-sparked my interest. But that is fucking dead and gone. They will never sell me on Bayley and Sasha ever again. If Sasha was to turn on Bayley this upcoming Monday, or vice versa, and they set up something real quick with 2 weeks remaining before SummerSlam, a big SummerSlam match, I won't give a fuck. This has been horribly booked, but I don't think they're going to turn on each other. I honestly think they're going for tag team championships at the all-women's pay-per-view October 28th. Evolution is the pay-per-view name, and that's where Sasha is going to get her gold. And Vince is going to be like, see, we put it on Sasha. It's just a tag team championship that nobody gives a fuck about. And if Sasha Banks, you know this is a pro-Banks channel, you know we are very high on Sasha Banks here. But if Sasha Banks is okay with this fucking booking, because she gets the tag team with Bayley and do what she loves to do, which is wrestle. And she's okay with tag team champion. If that's honestly, if she's okay with that, and not being in those top spot matches where Alexa Bliss is, where Ronda is going to be, where Becky Lynch might be, where Carmella is right now. If Sasha's okay with her spot in the mid-card with tag team championships for the women, or even below the mid-card, if she's okay with that, then fuck that shit too, and fuck her for thinking that way. Honestly, because that is a Bayley way to think. Bayley is the one that went on the Stone Cold podcast and said, I'm okay just being on the card. I want everybody to get the championship. I want everyone to have the opportunity and see how it feels. Yeah, that's what pro wrestling is now. Everybody gets the chance at the title. It's a merry-go-round. It's a fucking participation trophy. If you're on the roster, you get a championship. Sasha was always different from Bayley in that aspect. Sasha, literally, you could feel it in her fucking heart, in her soul, in her mind, in everything she is. Every ounce of her. Sasha always wanted to be the best. Now it looks like she literally is just content. She just gave up. She's like, you know what? This is as far as we're going to go. Tag team championships. At least we'll be the first ever tag team championship holders for the women. And I get to be with my best friend. If she's okay with that, and if you as a Sasha Banks fan is okay with that, and a pro wrestling fan in general, you're okay with Sasha in this role, then fuck that shit, man. You can think that way all you want. Best to you, and all the best in your way of thinking going forward. Me, I see through the bullshit. I know when somebody is better than others. It's just a fact. Sasha Banks is better than others. The conversation with her would be Charlotte, Ember, Naomi. Everyone else, nah, ain't gonna fucking fly. Becky Lynch in there at times when she's on her fucking game. But you ain't telling me the Carmellas, the Alexa Blisses, the Dana Brooks, the Alicia Foxes, the fucking Bellas. You're not telling me they're in the league of Sasha fucking Banks. This is a fucking disgrace. It's pathetic. The booking of Sasha Banks. Absolutely pathetic. I expect this for Bayley, not for the boss. Ember Moon. How about Ember Moon's booking? Oh, you're going to love Ember Moon's booking. You ready for this? I tweeted this out last night too on Twitter at BC Amplified. I said this is the last several weeks of Monday Night Raws for Ember Moon. 3 weeks ago, Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan. 2 weeks ago, Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan. 1 week ago, Ember Moon versus Sarah Logan. She actually picks up her first loss in her career. Ember Moon gets beat by Sarah Logan. And then last night, Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan. Did you guys sense a trend? Did you guys sense lazy booking? In 4 Monday Night Raws, they just said, hey, let's give Ember and Liv Morgan to the crowd every single week. Well, Vince, it's every week, though. All right, one of the weeks, bring in Sarah Logan and have Logan beat Ember. And then that'll be the SummerSlam kickoff match. Ember versus Logan. Because Logan beat Ember. Who does that excite? Every single week, we have seen Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan, except for one where we saw Sarah Logan, Liv's tag team partner. Why? Who would honestly, realistically book that? Why would any of us wrestling fans, why would we want to see the same match over and over every week? Ember Moon and Liv Morgan every fucking week. Why? Revival versus Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns every week. Why? Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks and Bayley every week a few weeks ago. Why? For like a month straight, 2 months straight. The 6-woman tags were every week the same women. Why? It's because of lazy booking, and they're honestly hoping that everyone either forgets what they saw the week before or they're okay with seeing the same shit the next week. That's what WWE is booking on. That everyone's just a fucking flock of the sheep, and that we're all just gonna go fucking hurtle together and golf clap to everything we see. Oh, it's Liv Morgan and Ember again. This is gonna be so much different than the first 97 times. Monday Night Raw. It's late at night. We're all trying to get excited for what we're watching, and they bring out Liv Morgan versus Ember, something we just saw time and time again. Why would anybody not only A, want to see it, but why and how would anybody be intrigued and entertained by seeing this? Nobody would. The same matches over and over again. That's all Monday Night Raw has become. The same people over and over and over and over and over again. Thank goodness for Mickie James last night, getting a fucking win over Natalya. Mickie James has been getting manhandled by Ronda Rousey, and I'm okay with that because you have to build Ronda Rousey up in that type of way and that type of booking. Somebody has to take the beating for Ronda. It happened to be Mickie. She drew the short straw. Hey, that's the business, I understand. But you have to rebound Mickie because you got to remember, Mickie James is no fucking secondary wrestler. She still, even at her age, can fucking rock the house down, man, and she can hang with any of those females. You can't just let her turn into a jobber. And last night was a huge win over Natalya, man. She came out dressed like she raided Kalisto's wardrobe. She came out like a fucking Power Ranger, but I don't give a fuck. At least she was showing some fucking leg and some fucking ass, because let me tell you, Mickie James has a body she should be proud of. For one of the older, not old, for one of the older females on the roster, she's got one of the best fucking bodies. She just never shows it. She always comes out there in these fucking 1975 bell bottoms. Bell bottoms like she's a fucking hippie from 1975. I don't understand that wardrobe. You got beautiful fucking legs. You got a nice fucking ass. Show that shit off, man. Don't hide what you got, especially at your age. You're a beautiful woman. Go out there and show that shit with your talent. Good job for Mickie James, man. Big win over Natalya. Yeah, I call that a big win because after the beating she took the last couple weeks by Ronda and being the pawn in the Ronda-Alexa scheme and game plan, she needed that win way more than fucking Natalya needed it over her, I'll tell you that. That's the women. I can't blow out another fucking a gasket by talking about the women anymore. I think the women's pay-per-view announcement, it's obviously, definitely not just newsworthy, but it's history-making. And the event itself will be history-making, whether you like it or not. It's going to be history-making. It's the first time ever. And I'm happy for all the women, and I hope and I know they will go out there and kick fucking ass. And will remain to be seen where the booking's gonna go. But if you're, we understand the booking is shit for the women. The booking is shit for everyone. And I just went over bad booking for the women. I haven't even got to the men yet, guys. Are you ready for this shit? So, Finn Balor takes on, Drew McIntyre in this last 8-9 minutes, and then all of a sudden it turns into a tag team match. Dolph gets involved, Seth Rollins comes down, and we have a holla playa. We have a tag team match set up by Kurt Angle, or as I like to call him, Teddy Long 2.0. And that's all that was a tag match schmaz, because they're gonna set up a Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler Intercontinental Championship match at SummerSlam. That's right. Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler again at SummerSlam. We just saw it at Extreme Rules. Everybody shit on that main event because it was shit, A, and B, probably more importantly, we've already seen Dolph versus Seth Rollins numerous times in the last month. Nobody needs to see it anymore. So when nobody wants to see anything anymore, what do? You put it at your second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Why not? Ha! Makes sense to me! So now you know what's going to happen for the next several weeks, right? I think you guys do. And they're probably, by the way, they're probably going to have a Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre match as well, because this is what they're going to do. I'm telling you right now, for the next several weeks, we're going to see the same match we just saw last night. They're going to be tag matches. Finn and Seth versus Dolph and McIntyre will happen again before SummerSlam. I assure you of that. And then one week they're going to switch it up, right? They're going to flip-flop the opponents. So Finn will take on Dolph, and Seth will take on Drew. They're just going to keep these four in the ring at all times until SummerSlam, until we're fucking out of our minds, bored to shit with this garbage. This is not how you used to build feuds back in the day, man. Building feuds like this now just makes us bored by the time we actually get to the event. Not only because the build is absolute shit, but because we've seen them in the ring a million fucking times that we no longer need to know what's gonna happen because we know. We've already seen them. If Floyd Mayweather took on Manny Pacquiao 75 times, I'm pretty sure by the 5th time, nobody's buying it anymore. The 3rd time, people probably saw enough if it's not a rubber match. If fucking Mayweather keeps beating Pacquiao the first 2 times, and I don't even know if people are going to tune in the 3rd time. There is no more rubber match. Even if Pacquiao wins, Mayweather is already the better, what the fuck are they? Boxer. UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, it all fucking meshes together with me, man. Mayweather, Pacquiao, I would not want to see more than 2 times unless it's a rubber match. Why am I seeing Dolph versus Seth Rollins a million fucking times when Seth Rollins keeps fucking losing, or when he wins it's by DQ? I don't need to see this shit anymore. Not at SummerSlam, man! The second biggest pay-per-view of the year. I really had hopes that Extreme Rules was extra shitty because they were putting all of their chips in at SummerSlam. And I was wrong. They're just redoing matches. This tag team match, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't care who fucking win. It's a stupidity, I can't even fucking gather my fucking thoughts together. That's how fucking epically horrible this Raw was, but also this fucking booking. How extra horrible this booking is going in the fucking SummerSlam of all events. This booking for Finn, Seth, Drew, Dolph, every fucking week we have to see this shit. I don't want to see them together anymore. I'm fucking done with it. All of this, the next fucking several Raws, is just gonna lead to Dolph versus Seth. And what? BC, that's where Seth's gonna pick up the championship. Well, that's a fucking moment I'm holding on to fucking real tightly to my seat for. That's a moment I'm clinging on to. Seth getting the IC championship after fucking months of trying against Dolph Ziggler of all people. He can't even take it from Dolph. Dolph, who's been a mid-carder for the last 4 fucking years. Comes back and he makes Seth Rollins his bitch. Alright, I'm done with it. Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. Owens came out last night, gave a kick-ass promo. I loved Kevin Owens' promo last night. You took everything from me when you threw me off that cage. Now I'm going to take everything from you. I loved it. That's how you build a story. It doesn't step away from the fact that it's a rehashed match. It's official at SummerSlam. Owens versus Strowman in another rematch from Extreme Rules. Another rematch from Extreme Rules. We just saw Owens and Braun, man. So they're going to add a little bit of spice to it. The lunchbox is on the line. If Owens wins, he gets the lunchbox from Braun Strowman. Can't wait. Right when I heard that, I called up everyone I knew. I'm like, SummerSlam, this is the one. This is the best event in the history of wrestling, man. SummerSlam is the event. Did you guys just hear the news? And they're like, no, BC, what is it? And I'm like, the lunchbox is on the line in the rematch between Owens and fucking Strowman. This is epic! So stupid. So fucking stupid. The only thing dumber than that would be the main event being a fucking rematch of Roman versus Brock. We've seen that 100 times. Imagine if they went and did that. Roman versus Brock in the main event of SummerSlam. They wouldn't do that though, right? Oh, we'll get to that in a minute, won't we? Wyatts lose against the B team. I like both teams. I love the B team. I love the fucking... No, I don't. What the fuck? I'm lying, man. I don't love the fucking Wyatts. I don't love the B team. I like the B team. I'm in the middle with the Wyatts, with shitty booking on top of their chemistry not really being what I thought it was going to be. I'm kind of in the middle with the Wyatts. I'm still not sure about them. I think it's time to fucking separate them. The only reason they're not, guys, you know the reason. It's because they have nothing for them. That's evident last night. The fucking B team beats the Wyatts again. I call them the Wyatts. Wyatt and Hardy. Might as well be the fucking Wyatts, right? That's all it is to me. And the B team beats Wyatt and Hardy. And then afterwards, Wyatt and Hardy, who are also faces still, go to shake the B team's hand, but instead attack them. And they flatline the B team. So the B team wins, but they get attacked after the match. That's usually what heels do. But then after the attack, Hardy and Wyatt got in position on the hard camera, and they started celebrating like faces would do. And Hardy's doing the delete, and Wyatt's doing the little fucking I'm a god thing, and all the fans are cheering along, delete, delete. So faces just took out faces after the match. Who is who? I don't even know anymore. 30 fucking plus years I've been watching pro wrestling. This is the most confused I've ever fucking been. I shouldn't be this fucking confused watching pro wrestling. And you have idiots going, sit back and relax, BC, and enjoy the show. You take it too seriously. Well, fuck. I would hate to think if I wasn't taking it as serious as I do. Then I'd really be fucking confused. What is happening? They're both face teams. They're facing each other yet again. B team beats Wyatt and Hardy again. And then after the match, Hardy and Wyatt are attacking them like they're heels, but then they celebrate like they're faces. So in the end, did we get anywhere? B team still walks out with the championships. B team is still a face team, and it looks like Hardy and Wyatt are still faces as well. So all of that was for what? The booking is honestly putting my head through a fucking every concrete wall that I see out here in New York City, man. Just for, oh, concrete wall, here I go, boom. Concrete wall, just think about fucking WWE booking. There I go, zoom. Authors of Pain in Titus Worldwide. What the fuck? Who gave Authors of Pain a microphone? That was treacherous. When they started talking, I no longer fear them. I can now walk into a dark alley with the Authors of Pain and think that I got a fucking chance now. Titus Worldwide comes out, beats the shit out of the Authors of Pain. The Authors of Pain not only get thrown out of the ring, they end up retreating. All of a sudden, the Authors of Pain that should be booked like legit fucking badasses some of the best heavyweights on the roster, even though they're a tag team, you book them up like monsters. They're running away from Titus Worldwide. Titus fucking O'Neil has Authors of Pain running for their lives. In what universe? Oh yeah, the WWE one. Think, BC. Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. Good fucking match. I tell you guys, Roman has good matches. He's like John Cena. You could boo him, you could cheer him. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he is a good wrestler. We just know what we can get out of him. Character-wise, personality-wise. We can still get the best out of him. The best out of him is when he's a heel. Last night, man, before this match, he knew he was going to get the boos, and I think they stopped with this whole Brock Lesnar is Vince McMahon's boy storyline. Roman did a backstage interview last night, and Roman's like, I don't care if you boo me, you cheer me. He said, I don't care if you think I'm being shoved down your throat or not. He actually used interweb slang that we use. We always talk about how Roman's being shoved down our fucking throats, man. He actually said, so it's obviously getting to either him, booking, or Vince. Because they actually put that in his promo last night. They dropped the Brock Lesnar is Vince McMahon's boy storyline. And now they're going with, I don't care if you think I'm being shoved down your throat, I'm going to be the new Universal Champion. That was as heel as we've seen Roman Reigns ever. And then after his match with Lashley last night, when he was celebrating, he was taunting the crowd. The crowd who was flipping him off and booing him, he was taunting them. That was the most heel Roman Reigns I think I've ever seen. But the match, obviously good. Bobby Lashley is showing me a lot since he's been back. This is a better Bobby Lashley now than I saw back in when Bobby Lashley was the last with WWE. I forgot when that was. What was that, around WrestleMania 23-ish, I believe? That was this is the best Bobby Lashley we've seen. This is the best Bobby Lashley I've fucking seen. And obviously Roman Reigns has good wrestling matches. So these two brutes together, they beat the shit out of each other. I love it. When it was all said and done, Roman Reigns defeated Bobby Lashley. Now Roman Reigns is going on to take on Brock Lesnar again for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam in Brooklyn. So many things wrong with this motherfucker. But let me start with the first one. Bobby Lashley has such a big win at Extreme Rules. You really think this is going to catapult him, and you also, at the same time, simultaneously, you think they finally learned their lesson, they're going to drop Roman down a few notches and eventually turn him heel. Instead, that was just to pump up Roman's win on Raw even more. Lashley beating Roman at Extreme Rules was just to set up a bigger victory for Roman 2 weeks later on Raw. Or 1 week later, if you think about it, 8 days later. That's all it was. Roman ends up getting the final laugh. We should have known. We were fooled. I thought they had big things for Bobby Lashley. Now what? Lashley's going to go on to take on Elias at SummerSlam? Because Elias took off last night like he was pissed because Bobby Lashley came out during his music song. Oh no, Elias. The whole fucking night, what was shitty booking for Elias too. By the third time they announced Elias, nobody gave a fuck, and that was the worst song he's ever come out with, by the way. I was bored to shit by second number 12. 12 seconds into that, I wanted to fucking either pass out or jump off my fucking fifth story window. Boom! Boom! That huge Lashley win over Roman is to get Lashley to Elias at SummerSlam in Brooklyn. Woo! Bobby Lashley's on top of the world! Roman Reigns, again, squeaks somehow into the heavyweight championship picture with the Universal Championship. In a match, here we go again. Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman, a rematch. Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, a rematch. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the main event, a rematch from 100 fucking times. 2 WrestleManias we've already seen him on. We've seen him at the greatest Royal Rumble ever. We've seen Roman and Brock on segments on Raw beating the shit out of each other, fucking talking to each other. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do... We've already seen build. Now we have to do it again to the second biggest pay-per-view of 2018. And it's absolute... If you don't see what's wrong, I just gave you a bunch of facts. If you are still like, I'm still okay with it, Beasley, how are you even watching this channel? How are you on this channel? What the fuck? Because clearly, our ways of thinking are way different streets, buddy. I'm not telling you, you can think however you want to think, but how the fuck are you on this channel and you actually love the content? What the fuck? We think two different ways. Roman and fucking Brock. Brock Lesnar is supposed to show up next week. I'll believe that when I fucking see it. But then what? What happens? We start the Roman Brock build? Seen that before several times. Redundancy. Regurgitated bullshit. Regurgitated. Everything's regurgitated. WWE is like Hollywood. They don't have fresh ideas. They just keep making sequels. They just keep rebooting old movies. How many times am I gonna see Halloween made? Michael Myers in Halloween 1 through 5 was it. Leave it. Leave it. How many times you gotta do Michael Myers in Halloween? How many different variations? How many different stories need to be told before I'm confused as fuck? Now all of a sudden the latest one, Michael Myers, part 2 and through 5 didn't even happen. Supposedly this picks up 40 years later, but after movie number 1. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. How many times have we seen a reboot Texas Chainsaw Massacre? The first one is the best! Home Alone 3? Please, if it didn't have Macaulay Culkin, they're not Home Alone. They're just a douchebag that forgot to stick with their parents. We don't need that shit. In WWE, the bootleg mentality, Hollywood mentality. Everything is regurgitated. There's no more fresh ideas. Everyone just wants to take what was already successful, or in WWE's case, not even successful the first time around, and let's try to make it successful now. It is bullshit, and it won't work in Brooklyn, New York, of all places. I know, because it's my fucking home. If I look at me when I'm talking to you, anybody in WWE, and I know there's some fucking puppets in that organization that watches this fucking channel, that watches the Amplified Man, so you relay this message to your bosses. If I show up to SummerSlam with a ticket as a fan, I'm raising hell. I assure you. I fucking assure you. There will be a hijack of epic fucking proportions. Because you're not going to bring another bullshit card to New York City. I've had enough. That's it. There's a lot to do. Coffees and ass whippings. Much love and respect to all you amplified motherfuckers out there. The Ant-Man is on his way fucking out of this motherfucker. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the SmackDown review and reaction. Hopefully tonight we get the Samoa Joe announcement that he'll be taking on AJ Styles. And hopefully we have one match to look forward to at SummerSlam. AJ versus Samoa Joe. That'd be pretty fucking cool, wouldn't it? Give me something. One iota of a fuck to be given for SummerSlam. Amplified Man. I'm fucking out. For now. Check you.